Hi there, Pokemon players. Welcome to a new video by Pokemon Knockouts, the website for beginning and intermediate Pokemon trading card game players. My name is Renato and I'm going to talk about the Worlds 2011. That's right, the World Championships Pokemon Trading Card Game 2011 held in San Diego in the United States. Now the World Championships Pokemon is just like any other World Championships. The best players from all over the world will come together to fight it out in a global tournament. It's the conclusion of the season and it's going to be pretty cool. Now, how can you qualify for World Championships? It's pretty simple actually. You just have to win the national championship of your country. That's simple, but not that easy, of course. Now, if you are second and third, you also get an invitation to play in the World Championships. I think that varies per country. I live in the Netherlands, and I think we have like the first three players in the World Championship in every category, of course, juniors, seniors, and masters. They get an invite to play in the World Championships. Now, another way to qualify for Worlds is to get enough points to get a high enough ranking to also get an invite. How did this work? Well, if you play in different tournaments throughout the year, we got Battle Roads, Cities Championships, State Championships. Here in Europe, we got the European Championships, and you can basically score points and rack up points to get a rating that's high enough for you to get an invite to play in the Worlds. Why is it that way? It's simple. They want the best players in the World Championships, and whether you win the national tournament or whether you've been playing really well all year, then you deserve to be in the World Championships. Pokemon. What cards and what decks are going to be expected to do really well in Worlds 2011? Well, there are a couple of decks that people are all talking about that have done really well in US Nationals, Mexican National, and Canadian Nationals, the three biggest tournaments that have been using the new format, Heart Gold, Soul Silver on. Now we got, of course, Yanmega Prime and Magnezone Prime. Now these two cards are the most popular cards at the moment. People are paying a lot of money to buy these on eBay. How does this deck work? Yanmega Prime is a grass Pokemon that can attack without you having to spend or attach any energy cards to it. Now it's a grass Pokemon, so normally you'd have to attach energy cards, probably grass energy, for it to attack, but through its power insight, if you have the same amount of cards in your hand as your opponent before you attack, you can attack without having to spend anything, so it's free. So that makes it a very splashable card. It'll fit in any deck, and there are ways for you to help you to get as many cards in your hand as your opponent. Trainer cards like Judge, Copycat, and being smart will help you to attack without cost. Now, Magnezone Prime, of course, is a very strong lightning Pokemon. Its power is that it's a very good draw engine. You can draw as many cards in your turn until you have 6 cards in your hand every time. And of course, it has a very powerful attack. You can discard, or you can not discard, but send lightning cards into the lost zone. For every lightning energy card you put in the lost zone, you can do 50 damage. So basically, you can do as much damage as you want. It'll just cost lightning energy cards. So if you put 5 in the lost zone and you attack with that big attack, you can do 250 points of damage, basically knocking out everybody, all the Pokemons and their mamas. That's right. Now, another deck that you're going to see a lot is probably going to be one of the Reshiram decks. Typhlosion and Reshiram, or Emboar and Reshiram. How do these decks work? Now, Reshiram is a very powerful Pokemon. It's one of the new legendary Pokemons from the Black and White series. It has a very powerful attack called Blue Flare, and that will cost you 2 fire energy cards and 1 colorless energy card. Now, the problem with that attack is that after you attack, you have to discard 2 of your fire energy cards. So you want to refuel Reshiram as quickly as possible. You can do that by using Typhlosion's power. Typhlosion allows you to, Typhlosion Prime, we're talking about that one, allows you to put a extra fire card onto a Pokemon. So you put a fire energy card through Typhlosion on Reshiram, and then you put another fire card, as you can always do. You can always put an energy card on a Pokemon on Reshiram, and that makes 2 energy cards, so you can basically attack with Blue Flare, discard the 2 energy cards. Next round, put an energy card from your hand through Typhlosion's power on Reshiram, then put another fire card, from yourself, as you always do, on Reshiram. That's 2 fire cards again, and so you can attack again. So a very powerful combination, a very powerful symbiosis that will have Reshiram knocking out opponents really fast, one after another, giving you a lot of prizes. Now, Emboar basically works the same. Emboar's power, Infernal Fandango, allows the player to attach as many fire energy cards to a Pokemon as you want. So, you can attach 2, 3, 4, whatever to Reshiram, and of course, it works the same as as I explained with Typhlosion. So 2 very strong, very aggressive fire decks. Tyram, Typhlosion, and Reshiram, and Emboar and Reshiram, also known as Reshiboar. That's right. Now, another deck that's going to be that you're probably going to see at Worlds, which is a deck that everybody has been talking about as being not that good, but then again it won Canadian Nationals and Mexican Nationals, is ZPS. ZPS stands for Zekrom, Pachirisu, and Shaymin. How does that work? Now, ZPS is a speed deck, which means that it allows you to attack very fast and to build up the main attacker and the main attack very quickly. It works as Zekrom needs 2 lightning energy and 1 colorless energy to use its Bolt Strike, the big attack that does 120 points of damage. You use Pachirisu, which you bring from your hand into the bench, and it has its power to take 2 lightning energy with him. So you attach 2 lightning energy cards to Pachirisu from your hand. Then you bring in Shaymin with Celebration Wind. It can move energy cards from one Pokemon to another. So you move those 2 energy cards from Pachirisu through Shaymin onto Zekrom. Theoretically, that will give you a turn 1 Bolt Strike doing 120 points of damage right from the get-go. Now, that is the theoretical way of putting Zekrom to work in round 1. A lot of people are saying, yeah, well, that's pretty good. It's a speed deck and he can attack really fast, take prizes really fast, but after a while it'll fizzle out. Why? Because unlike Reshiram, who has to discard 2 fire energy cards, Zekrom does 40 points of damage to himself. So that's a problem, because after you use 2 Bolt Strikes, you have done yourself 80 points of damage. Now, there are ways to solve this, and if you have a lot of Zekroms, you can swarm your opponent. You can heal them by using potions, which is not that effective, or you can take them back into your hand by using Super Scoop Up or Seeker. There are many different ways to solve that problem, and of course, I think that if you read the forums and the websites, putting another main attacker into a ZPS deck like Yanmega Prime or even Magnezone Prime, who's also a lightning Pokemon, which will give you draw power and another devastating attack for later in the game, is a solution for that. So ZPS is also a deck to look out for. And our other decks to look out for are fast Stage 1 decks, also known as rush decks, which can build up attackers really fast. Donphan is, for example, a Stage 1 attacker. And yeah, there are also some other decks that use, for example, Trainer Lock, which have Vileplume in them, and other disruptive cards like Jirachi and Sharpedo are also cards to look out for, which not a lot of people will use, but if you use disruptive decks, they will probably be in there. Of course, there are more decks that are out there that are going to see some play, but I think the ones that I mentioned are the big ones that everybody's looking out for. Of course, the last one I want to talk about is Donphan Machamp, Donchamp decks, which of course use Donphan, a very powerful Pokemon, already well known from the earlier format, and Machamp, which is also one of those Pokemons that you have to look out for. Very hard-hitting Pokemon. Of course, Donphan is a real ZPS killer because it has a resistance to lightning, and yeah, Zekrom is a very fragile when it comes to fighting Donphan because he has a weakness for fighting Pokemons. Now, of course, Donphan has to look out for water Pokemons, but there aren't a lot of strong water Pokemons out there. Samurott is the only one who can take out Donphan with one hit, but I doubt whether we'll actually see Samurott in the game at the Worlds. Anyway, those are the decks that you'll probably see. I'm very interested what Japanese players will bring. They always bring very unconventional decks and cards and combinations. And yeah, looking for, of course, how the European players will handle themselves at the World Championships. Anyway, we'll see next week. That's Friday. I'll talk about the World Championships. Who's the new world champion? What deck did he use? What was going on? Again, at Worlds 2011. Maybe I'll see you next week, Friday. I hope so. Subscribe to my channel and check out www.PokemonKnockouts.com where I put in new articles about Pokemon cards and strategies every day. Thanks for watching. Peace.